In the world today, there is a ton of noise. Every app has some kind of a song or a sound, and then also there's a ton of conversations going on. There's things on social media, there's things in the office, there's things online, there's messages on Slack popping up everywhere.
Please hold for a very important message.
It can get a lot, and it can get overwhelming really quickly. As a developer, one of your most important skill sets, arguably I guess, but according to me, one of your most important skill sets is actually communication. You can be a good developer by just doing code and doing it really well, but in order to be a great developer, you need to be able to communicate. And a crucial part of that communication is listening. Oh great, here we go, another soft skill video, funzo. Before you click off, maybe just hear me out. Haha, see what I did there? Terrible. Listening is one of the most underrated skill sets of all time. It can be easy to talk and try and get your opinions across or get your message across. But listening takes a bit of practice. In development, software engineering, analysis, even testing, listening can be the difference between, look, this fantastic project has been finished, the client is super happy, and we're gonna miss the deadline because it's not really what they had in mind. Okay, great, I'm listening. Just tell me what I need to do. Let's break down listening into 3 things. Number 1, be present. Number 2, participate in the conversation. And number 3, use tools. Be present. It's easy to be in a conversation, whether that conversation is a meeting room or just something a little bit more casual in the hallway or on Slack or Teams, whatever, and to scroll through your phone and look at Reddit or Twitter or whatever the app flavor of the day is, and just listen to blah, 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 the person talking. That's easy. Or it's easy to sit in a meeting room, IRL, and think, I wonder how many bricks were laid to create this building, and to start counting the floorboards. I know I'm guilty of doing that actually. But the problem is, if you're doing that, you might miss crucial information. So, how can I be more present? Well, first of all, remove the distraction. Take your phone, your tablet, whatever is distracting you, and put it in your bag just for the remainder of the meeting. Then, take notes, write things down, and make sure that you're actively listening to what each person is saying. This can get a lot more difficult when the people are not talking sense or when the conversation is being directed in another direction, but perhaps you can use this opportunity to be more affirmative and say, look, great conversation, but can we get it back on point? If you're in the position to do so, participate in the conversation. So this sounds a little contradicting. I mean, how can you participate in the conversation but keep on listening? Participating in a conversation is more than just talking, and it's more than just adding your own message. It's actually engaging with what somebody else is saying and trying to truly understand their point of view.
What you talking about, Fry?
Put yourself in their shoes. Put yourself in the position that they are in. They might be just as terrified to talk to you as you are to talk to them. I mean, they need to tell this mighty developer, this person that basically does software wizardry, their requirement, and that can be terrifying. And a lot of active listening is actually just understanding the person that you're talking to's viewpoint from their position. And then another crucial part of actually being part of the conversation is to affirm that you are understanding what they're saying and to ask questions if you don't understand. Number 3, use tools. So tools can be anything from a whiteboard up to a notepad that you're taking notes on, or drawing a graph, or whatever it is, to communicate that you are understanding what they are telling you. Another tool that we neglect to use often is asking questions. Here we need to be cautious. Don't ask questions for asking questions' sake, but ask a question with a very strategic goal in mind. Think of it like you're playing a real-time strategy game, and you need to be very strategic to get the information that you require. When participating in a conversation, don't just talk for talking's sake. Make sure that what you are saying, the words that are coming out of this thing, actually makes sense and that there's a point to them. Otherwise, you're just, I don't know, enhancing the conversation with fluff, but not really adding anything substantial. In which case, the conversation could have been an email. Am I right? Active listening is such a great tool for developers, and I don't think we give it enough credit. But always remember that understanding people is the core of active listening, and actually the core of communication. Here's some other tips just to be a better listener. Affirm what you are hearing. Use tools such as notepads or whiteboards or whatever is available to you. Oh, there's even a whiteboard tool in Teams. Who knew? Smile. As long as you're comfortable, they're comfortable, and it's easier for them to bring across their message. But don't have like a creepy smile, like, don't do that, don't do that. Like, if I'm creeped out, I will actually just try to get out of the conversation because I might be talking to a serial killer or whatever. Smile, but be gentle. That's what I'm trying to say. You can also use visual cues like nods or a gentle frown if you don't understand. And while you're actively listening, think before you talk. Ask yourself the question, am what I'm about to say really going to add value to the conversation? And lastly, try to not get frustrated with the person that you're listening to. It's easy for us to say, oh, this person doesn't know anything that they're talking about, I'm out.
You fool! You foolish fool!
Instead of saying that, maybe do a mindset shift and see where they're coming from. Because maybe there's value in what they're trying to say, but they just don't necessarily know how to say it. Maybe tell me your tips of active listening down in the comments. There's a ton of things that I still need to learn. I'll be doing more videos on active listening as I grow my own skills, and hopefully I can give some of that knowledge over to you. Anyway, thanks for watching. Cheers. What were you thinking with that fish button on the main menu? We're not designing an app for cats. Or are we?